staying on Hong Kong and back to my editorial top of the hour, in which I said, look, Xi Jinping, I think, is in trouble. He's in a corner, which gives America leverage there. Christian Whiton is with us, former State Department official. Is my premise there on track? He's in a corner. It's getting worse. Therefore, we have more leverage?
You're absolutely right about that, Stu, for the reasons that you cited earlier in the hour. But also, you know, one factoid out there. Pork prices down 30%, up 30% on the mainland due to a shortage there, swine flu, you know, all these problems run in packs, and China is running into a lot of them now. The economists expected that Chinese exports would increase in the last quarter, year on year. They were actually down 1%. And as you pointed out as well, the Wall Street Journal out with a report this morning, what a lot of us have long suspected, which is that all these economic numbers are kind of phonied up when they come from China. So tremendous financial pressure on Xi Jinping to make a deal with Donald Trump. Of course, working against that is the sort of the political need to stay alive. And Xi Jinping has a lot of rice bowls to fill within his own sort of party cronies.
Do you think we get any kind of deal before the election? Any kind of deal?
I'm in the minority on this, but I don't think so, actually. I just think that with political turmoil in Hong Kong, first of all, that inhibits us somewhat. Incidentally, the violence there can be blamed, I think, at least last night, on police over the weekend. They were the ones who issued a permit for a march that was peaceful. Then they cut it short long before the permit expired, shut down the trains, and that led to violence. And that type of thing makes it harder to create a trade deal. Also, again, just reforming state-owned enterprises, one of the 7 deadly sins that China engages on in trade, that will require reforms that mean Xi Jinping taking his cronies out of power, or at least giving them less money. It's hard for them to do that. I think we should still try to force them to, but I think they're going to try and wait out Donald Trump, but they're going to be waiting a long time.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a very long time. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping's domestic economic position gets worse. And what's this about? I read it in the New York Times. There are grumblings of dissent within China. That's unheard of.
It is. You know, it's interesting that in the People's Daily, they came out and said that anyone saying that the Chinese leadership should make concessions to the United States is wrong. That's against the party line. Why would you say that if you are negotiating and you want to give yourself flexibility? To me, that implies that Xi Jinping is trying to whip his colleagues in the party who are starting, the more pragmatic ones who are less fanatical than him. So I think there is some dissent within what looks like this unitary, uniform, monolithic communist state.
But again, to repeat, you don't think there's going to be any kind of deal before the election?
I personally don't. I mean, I sort of, part of me hopes we do, in the sense that it would be better for our exporters. Part of me hopes we don't, because I don't think we should be empowering our chief adversary in the world. But my money is on no.
All right, Christian, we hear you loudly and clearly. Christian Whiton, thank you, sir.